What's up, everybody? I'm Mark Menezes, and this is Lunch at Made, where every week I sit down with someone doing great things here in Riverside. We hang out, we have lunch. They pick what we eat, and I eat the same thing. So, where are we eating lunch from today?
We're eating from Simple Simon's.
Ooh, one of my favorites.
One of my faves here. Yeah.
I'll wait to ask what we got.
Oh,
today,
okay,
because
cool.
I have a couple favorites there, but
Sweet. Yeah,
But,
same.
so-
yeah, me too.
really, really good place. But we're here to talk about arcade.
Yes.
So, you guys opened. How many years ago is it now?
So we started the company back in 2013 is when our we first filed papers and everything.
Yeah.
We had a warehouse that we opened in 2014, and then the vision kind of changed from being a wholesale company to wanting to serve people.
Yeah.
And so we just rolled up our doors at the warehouse and started giving coffee out for free to poor college students. And it was just a way for us to start connecting with the city and the community. That was my heart. I wanted to have a place for people my age to congregate, and instead of taking their talents from all these universities here and moving to LA and Orange County, how can we keep these people with all these talents to stay in Riverside? So
Yeah.
figured coffee was a way to do that and keep people going here. And so it transitioned into having a cafe, and so we found the Chicago and 7th location. So it was the old Video Town, old video store, and we saw the vision for opening it up and having it become a shop. And then so we did that opened that in 2017, and then we just opened Canyon Crest 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, well, I was really happy for it because that's over in my hood. So
Yeah.
the original warehouse, was that there in Chicago where you guys are, or was that somewhere else?
No, it's the warehouse that is next to North High School. So in between North High School and the 60 freeway on
Okay.
3rd Street.
So that originally was just warehouse.
It was just a warehouse, and then for 9 months until health department found out it was a makeshift coffee shop.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Then you legitimized it.
And then we got shut down by health department. I was on my 5-year anniversary trip to Indonesia. We were visiting some coffee farms out there, and my business partner emails me and is like, "Hey, health department just came in and shut us down." I'm in Singapore, and I'm like, "Well, figure it out."
Yeah.
So we got back and we started looking for our next location.
Yeah. So how did it start with? Did you just in your house, in your garage, start roasting, or how did that
Yeah,
start?
so I lived in China after I graduated from college. I was there for 3 months.
Oh, really?
And I met some guys who were roasting coffee out there, and just had a really incredible experience. We went up on the Tibetan plateau, and he was teaching this Tibetan guy how to roast coffee, and we were eating fresh coffee beans out of the roaster, and so it was a really awesome experience. So I came back to the States and just started playing around with coffee, learning more about it. My buddy Jeff Govea, who's an artist here in Riverside, we were doing a Bible study together, and thought well, why don't we just start roasting our own coffee, and had the crazy idea to start selling it. And that turned into us. We were roasting on a little air popper machine. That wasn't sustainable, so then we bought a roaster that from this guy out in Arizona. He was actually a bounty hunter. It was kind of a goofy situation. We thought we were going to meet this cool hipster guy. It was before we knew anything about coffee, so we thought
just trying to figure it out.
only hipsters roasted coffee. So we go out there, and this goofy old guy, and then started roasting that, using that as a way to connect with people, and it just grew from there. So we reached out to the guys in China, and they wanted to start something in the States. So we partnered up with them. They ended up shipping us a roaster they had bought a roaster in North Carolina. They shipped us this roaster, and then we opened our warehouse. So that was kind of the beginning. That was 7 years of my life,
Yeah.
condensed, but
So
yeah.
cool. Actually, you mind hitting start on the iPad right there? So then, once you guys, so the vision from the beginning wasn't to actually have a coffee shop.
Yeah, it initially started as we were a wholesale business,
Yeah.
and it wasn't even necessarily my vision. This is something I kind of learned about myself along the way, but it was more of the guys that I was partnered up with in China. That was their vision, and I was coming on board with them. But I just always wanted to have a place here in Riverside, and so when our desires kind of broke off, then it was like, okay, it's time to break away from them and make this my own thing. So we bought out their ownership, and that's when it kind of transitioned into becoming a shop.
Yeah. Did you grow up in Riverside?
I did, yeah. So I went to Woodcrest Elementary, and then I went to Earhart, and then I went to King, and then Cal Baptist. So I went all the way through the system.
Yeah. So did I. I was over at North High School.
Oh, okay. North.
Yeah. So when you
Got
guys
a little repping over there, right down the street from us.
King, I graduated in '94, 100 years ago. So
yeah, King wasn't
came
around
out
then,
a few
right?
years after that. Yeah. Just blew up a giant school out there. So
yeah.
So I moved back here because I went to school back east. I came back a few years ago, and so went to North High School. And I first saw your guys' shop. I'm like, I'm gonna go drive by the old high school.
Yeah.
And I see this Video Town sign, and there's like people. I'm like, there's a video store still open, and it's like, oh, it's a cool coffee shop. And just fell in love with it from the beginning.
Thanks.
And then once you guys started serving food on Sundays at first, right?
Yeah. We were doing food on the weekends. It was just like small menu. Again, it was like, where do you get breakfast or brunch in Riverside?
Yeah.
There just wasn't really anything, It was like Simple Simons, and I think actually like one weekend, my sister was visiting from out of town, and we woke up, we wanted to go get brunch somewhere, and there was literally like nowhere to go. It was like maybe Simon's was closed that day or something.
Yeah.
And we had to drive all the way out to Redlands to go get brunch, and I just remember being like, you gotta be kidding, there's nothing here for us. Like there's zero here for us right now. So yeah.
Yeah, your guys.
You guys have brunch over there then?
We have brunch at the tasting room, and then we also have it at the bakehouse.
What's the menu like for that brunch?
I
like it. I'm resonating with the story.
Yes,
So,
yes.
What do you got?
So we have eggs Benedict. We have brekkie Sammy. That's my favorite. So we make our own
really good.
in-house biscuits, make our own sausage in-house. We have these local eggs that we use that are just really delicious. So that's my number one. I love that. We have a green shakshuka, which is like a Mediterranean, Middle Eastern dish. An avocado toast, and I think that's it for brunch. There's probably one more thing, but yeah, the brunch is pretty dope. It's really good. I mean, we have a line out the door all the way down, like wrapping down all the way to Subway from our place on Saturdays and Sundays.
We're right up around the corner. What time is it open?
We open at 7.
7?
The line starts to get big. Well, this weekend it actually line out the door at 7 o'clock. So, but get in early.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's worth it too. I mean, we started going there for brunch at the other location, and like usually you go to a place and I'll find like maybe one or two things that I like, and so I just order that thing forever. And sometimes I'll venture off, and so like my wife had something else and tried out, oh, that's good, I needed that last time. So I was basically just going through everything on there, like everything on it was
So
fantastic.
we brought on an executive chef from the ranch out in Anaheim, and he's the one that's like kind of revamped our menu, and he's next level. Like I feel like I don't deserve to have him at all.
That's
so
good.
yeah, really thankful to have him.
It's a good partnership. Are you I haven't eaten at the new location yet? Are you still doing the breakfast burritos?
No, so we wanted to have different offerings at each location
Okay, so
and give people a reason to go to each location. So
That's a good idea.
Yeah, completely different menu at Canyon Crest. The brekkie burrito is kind of like the showstopper at the tasting room, but then we have some other really good things to go with it. And then downtown, we're opening a shop in downtown as well.
I saw that. Yeah.
Just announcing that right now. So there you go. So we'll be opening in downtown. Maybe January,
Yeah. Do you know where yet?
Right.
Are you saying where?
on the corner of Main and 9th Street.
Okay.
Which spot?
Suite 101. So there's the yoga studio, and we would be like right next to the
You're
yoga
at the
studio.
main building?
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's right. I was
Yeah.
over there yesterday.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yep.
Aaron's gonna work for you, right?
He is.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's happening. It's gonna be.
That's
Gonna be
exciting.
crazy.
A little nervous, but excited.
Yeah. I mean, opening. So I mean, I've always wanted to have a restaurant, and when we opened the bakehouse, I realized I had no idea how to run a restaurant. So luckily, Ronnie's there, and he knows. I mean, simple things of like you have to get the silverware ready in the morning. I don't know, I've never done that before, and who's responsible for that? I mean, there's a lot of those like small things that I just hadn't thought of. So, so we're really excited about having downtown and being able to have a second restaurant. So
you got your hands on a lot of things. It's funny as you're saying that, like, as you start to do something, it's funny, like we've done steel fabrication, we opened the store here, but we can make things and do that, but the crazy thing is the business side behind it is which is like, when people ask you, how's that? Like, there's so much more that goes into, like,
there's a lot more.
There's picking out the silverware and all those things, and who's doing your books and how to do this and how to the profit margins and all those, because if you want to stay open, you have to hit those things. And those are the more critical things. But the behind the scene things.
100%. Yeah, I mean, staffing is completely different now too. I mean, hiring line cooks and I was walking from our shop down to Ralph's the other day, and I looked at every business and every restaurant in the window wanted line cook, cashier, prep cook, and it's like that's what we're trying to hire right now. So we're also realizing too, like we need to build a really robust like training program so we can take people from not really knowing anything and bring them along the way. So we've been really great at training baristas. Now we need to build our program for training cooks and stuff, because the people that want to work for us are inexperienced young people, and so it's like they have all the passion and energy, but not much skill. So we need to be able to convert that into getting them on the team and getting them up to speed. So
and so the Bakehouse in Canyon Crest, that's a full menu all the time, right?
Yeah.
And then by North is just Sunday still?
No, we have food every day there.
Every day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So we call the one on Chicago and 7. We call it the tasting room, the Bakehouse, and then we're just gonna call the downtown location downtown. Okay. So yeah.
And will that be just very similar to the Bakehouse, or will it be different at all?
So it's gonna be like sit down. Yeah. So we haven't fully decided how that service is gonna work yet, because we're gonna have a coffee bar up front. It's actually really beautiful. So we hired the same architects that designed the Pig. So the coffee bar is like the centerpiece when you first walk in, and then ton of seating, kitchen's in the back. So we don't know if you're gonna order at the bar yet, and then you'll go sit and we'll bring your food out, or if there'll be table service, or how that's gonna work. But we're gonna have our beer and wine license there, so we'll be open late doing dinner and stuff too. So we're trying to get that 3 parts, trying to do breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So we'll see if it works.
Yeah, that's great. They did. The guys that designed the Pig did a great job.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful.
It's a cool ambiance and place you want to sit down and hang out.
Yeah, for sure.
So are you guys still distributing your coffee as well?
We are. Yeah, COVID like crushed that part of the business. Like the first week that COVID had like started up, all of our wholesale orders came in like normal. We're like, okay, thank God, like it's, everyone's still ordering. And then one by one, the shops in LA and Orange County just like, hey, I'm gonna have to cancel, or hey, I'm gonna make my order smaller. And so we were growing. I mean, we were gonna double our wholesale business in 2020, and it got crushed. And now, I mean, our business has completely switched to majority retail. Wholesale is such a small part. It's still going, it's still working, but I like the retail side better. I love like this, getting to talk to people face to face and serve them,
Yeah, that makes sense. So you, with the, sorry, it's totally lost what I was gonna say.
Yeah, you're good.
What's your, beyond that, I mean, do you have a bigger vision with a new place? So like, are you kind of figuring out as you go? Or
yeah, so I read a book early on called Good to Great, and he talks about the hedgehog concept of, what are you best at, what can you make the most money doing, and what are you most passionate about? And so we took the last couple of years to figure out what that thing is, and so we're in the final stages of that, between wholesale, subscriptions, retail. We tried our hands in wholesale. I'm not super excited about it, but I mean, when you're making decent amount of money with it. You don't want to just
Right.
kill it off.
Right.
Subscriptions, we tried it, and I don't know why it didn't work, but it didn't work that well for us. And retail has been the thing that is working. So
Yeah.
I think we're gonna double down on that. We'll see how downtown goes. And we've opened 3 concepts that are pretty different, that all have a similar vibe, but they're unique enough. And so the idea is that we'll see which one we're best at of those 3, and then try to replicate. If we franchise out or something like that, then we'll try to replicate one of those 3 concepts.
You mentioned like wanting to see people stay in Riverside, and
Oh,
especially
yeah.
younger
Drives me
people
nuts when they
and
leave.
creative people. Are you starting to? What are you seeing with that? Like, what's your? Obviously, you guys are doing something, but
Well, yeah. I mean, when Lyft opened up, there was this like huge like demographic that I had like never seen in Riverside before. Like it was all of a sudden all the hipsters like came out of the woodworks and were like hanging out at Lyft, you know. And so for us, I feel like I'm seeing more of those young people here in Riverside and feel like they have the opportunity to stay. So we have one girl that comes into the shop pretty frequently, has done some design work for us, and she's like freelancing here in Riverside or in the Inland Empire. And normally you'd take something like that and you'd move to LA or you'd move to Orange County, but she has the ability to do it here. So I feel like I'm starting to see more people catch the vision. You have all that housing that's going in downtown. That's a huge opportunity. I mean, tons of people. So I feel like we're starting to see a lot of that growth.
yeah,
I'm excited about it.
And what you guys are doing, like with, I mean, what Rico's doing here with Made, and what you guys are doing, I think younger people, especially that are growing up now, and they're seeing those, you know, creative people creating businesses, and I think it's just going to continue to inspire other people to do that as
I
well.
think that, I don't know if you noticed, like, you got involved in the community, like, it was weird, it's kind of like there's an older generation, it's not a lot of listening to the younger. We're like the big group of young professionals, which is awesome, and that's this whole thing that you need to, like, we started the store, like, we have a lot of, like, stuff that's, the demographic is younger, and so we have to do that, we're getting more involved, like, they talk about the brain drain. How many universities do we have here? We should have all kinds of, like,
I know.
hips, cool things to do here.
Yeah.
So, and then with Carb coming, or Carb here now and all that, we're creating that better paying area.
Right.
And as long as we listen to places like your place and all that, give them a reason to stay, a reason to plant roots here.
Yeah.
Food.
Yeah, I feel like one of the things I've seen too, and I mean, this is my personal experience, so take it or leave it, but I've had older guys in Riverside investing in me, right? So rather than seeing me as like, I mean, my business partner, Brian, I mean, he and I are pretty different. I mean, he calls our tasting room like that I was polishing a turd. He's just like, he didn't see the vision, but he believed in what I was trying to do. And I wanted to listen. So it's this, I mean, I feel like what has to happen is the older generation has to invest in us, but we have to be willing to receive their wisdom and their guidance, you know? We have to figure out a way to work together. Because if we don't, then, I mean, they have all this wisdom that we're going to miss out on. We have all this energy and excitement about these ideas that we're going to go in a million different directions without their wisdom, you know?
Well, totally. I was just saying too, like, we started learning all these. I have so many good, amazing mentors that I have that are willing to share all this information,
Right.
how to bid, how to do these things.
Right.
And that's awesome. You hit it right on the head, right?
Yeah.
That, like, you have to listen to them, but they are willing to listen. It's the same thing, like, I don't know, like, I got a 20-year-old daughter, like, I don't know what's cool, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you have to listen to, like, if this is what people are doing, you might not understand it, but that's how I was when we were younger. You just gotta be, listen, listen and take.
Yeah, I think if in general in life, if we could, whatever relationship or partnership we're in, if both parties can listen to the other side, we'd be a lot better off.
Yeah, for sure.
Feels like everyone's so focused on where they're coming from and their perspective. So it's cool to see that you have that kind of partnership.
Yeah.
And it makes sense to see where you guys are, that you've been able to implement that.
Yeah, for sure.
So what are you most excited about with the bake house right now? Like, how's that? what has it turned into what you expected it to be? It's obviously been a huge hit. I was there this morning and there was a line out the door.
Yeah. I mean, it's honestly, it's more than what we were expecting. We thought we were going to open the bakehouse and it was going to break even, and we were okay with that because of what we got out of it. Being able to sell pastries at both locations, we could bake all our breads here for the different locations, and that it would support the other ones and not necessarily be its own thing on its own. And so the fact that, I mean, it's doing better than the tasting room. Like, I mean, we're doing numbers that we didn't think that we were going to do. And so, I mean, I'm really excited for the different demographic that we're pulling now too, like to see that it's not just a bunch of like hipsters and young people that want this stuff. Like everybody wants it. Like everybody wants good food.
Yeah.
You know, like why can't we all see that, right? Like it's not just these kids that don't have any money that just want the avocado toast. It's like everybody wants the avocado toast, so let's make the avocado toast.
Yeah, it tastes good.
It's good, yeah. So to see the support from different generations. I mean, the previous mayor, not Rusty, the one before him. Loveridge. So he said that coffee shops are like the watering holes for our communities now. And I think it's totally true. It's like, this is where, people from all different demographics and generations come in and they meet, and I see them like talking. And this is like the thing that gets us excited is, this is why we say create shared moments. Like we want to be that catalyst for people coming in, connecting, especially in the times that we're in, realizing like, we both like this place. We have different views and opinions, but we can talk about these things together. And that's what we see us being in the community,
Yeah, done a great job with it.
Yeah, thanks.
So with the new shop, did you guys do any how did you get the word out? Did you do any marketing? Because it seemed
social
from
media
day one.
Yeah, I mean, just posted on Instagram. So actually, I posted on my personal social media. We didn't want to post on Arcade's, so I posted about it on mine, just like, hey, hush hush, like we're open, like soft open, and we had like 2 things on the menu, a few of the pastries, and it was like just for us to kind of try out our systems. And from day one there was a line out the door, and so we've not been able to like catch up at all, just from me posting about it. So there was so much like anticipation behind us opening. So just social media. I mean, we did some like handouts and stuff like that. We use these tokens, these like little $5 tokens that we give to people as a way for them to come in and try the drink or try coffee, and hopefully that draws them in.
Yeah, I mean, you guys obviously did a good job. So with that, talk about some of the bakery items. I haven't had any of the bake items.
Yeah,
what do you
so
guys
like 2 weeks before we opened, we hired this stellar head baker. Her name is Jessica Simpson, not the Jessica Simpson.
The other one?
The other Jessica
one,
Simpson. And yeah, she's just been stellar. So we have a cruffin on the menu, which is a croissant dough that we put into a muffin tin, sprinkle sugar on top, and then bake it. That's been pretty awesome. We have our blueberry citrus scone. We have 3 different cookies, chocolate chip cookies that we do, a vegan option. What else? We have a jalapeno cheddar scone. We're coming out with a new one. It's a mushroom and Gruyere cheese scone. That's really delicious. Our biscuits that we bake in house, those have been a big hit. And I mean, we have such an incredible team. They're coming out with new stuff all the time. So that's our idea, is to find the things that work, and produce a ton of those, and then be experimenting on the side to see what we can put in that people are gonna like the most. So I'm really excited about the croissants too. The croissants are pretty amazing. Yeah,
that's right. Well, now I'm really hungry, so I think our food's here. Tell them we're ready for food. So Simple Simon's, one of my favorite places to eat in Riverside. And
love it.
What'd you order?
The Bostonian. Yeah.
I heard it just came back.
It just came back. The
Yeah.
Bostonian just came back. I love it. And
What's on it?
there's like, I believe it's coleslaw and turkey. I don't know. I just started ordering the Bostonian, and it comes out and I eat it and I like it. And then gazpacho too. I think their gazpacho is really dope.
Yeah.
So
Never had it, so.
you've never had the gazpacho?
I haven't,
Oh,
no.
bro, come on! You're about to treat yourself right now.
Thank you, Emmy.
Are they gonna watch us eat? Is that how this
We
is
take a
gonna go?
bite and then we'll
No, I
wrap it
had to
up.
pick it up. So this is as we're learning to do this. It's
Yeah.
funny thing is, all right. So I sent it. I was like, oh man, is it gonna get soggy? Because it turns out when you have a lunch show at 12, it's a little busy to go get food.
There's a rush
Yeah.
for sure.
Especially
Yeah,
over
look
there.
at that.
Oh,
Come
that looks
on.
awesome.
Oh, that's amazing. Is that
Beautiful.
roast beef,
Oh, it's,
turkey.
well, normally I do. Yeah, my friend actually normally orders this for me.
Yeah.
So normally he gets it with turkey, I guess. Roast beef. Come on, let's go.
Oh, that's great. Their bread. It doesn't get much better.
Mm-hmm.
What is gazpacho? I don't even know what gazpacho is.
It's a cold soup.
Okay.
Tomatoes. The pro tip though, I learned this from my friend Jonathan Murtaugh. The pro tip is adding the avo and the croutons. So good.
Have you ever had avocado ice cream or yogurt?
Never.
I had an avocado yogurt one time, and I thought it would be disgusting. It was amazing.
I've had avocado ice cream.
Have
And
you?
I didn't think it was when they brought it out. I was like, it was homemade too. And,
Dude, how good is that?
That's amazing.
Right? I love it.
It was good.
It's
though.
so good. So Simple Simon's, if you don't know about it, it's downtown. Amazing food, one of my favorite places to go. But Stevie, thanks so much for coming out. Arcade Coffee, check out their tasting room over by North High School, the Bakehouse over in Canyon Crest, and then coming sometime in January, the new place downtown Riverside will be there as well. Amazing coffee, amazing baked items, amazing food. You can't go wrong. Thanks again for joining us, man.
Yeah.
Wait,
thanks for
also
having me.
too, click on those notifications so you can find out when we go to live. A lot of people say, I didn't know you went live.
Yep, so make sure, if you're not watching this right now live, if you're watching it later, the video we posted, make sure you follow made.riverside or Instagram, and then set the notification for Instagram to tell you every Wednesday at noon we go live, so you'll get the notification to know. If you happen to miss it one week, you can watch it on the Instagram. We're putting it on YouTube, Facebook, pretty much anywhere you can watch videos, we're gonna be putting it up as well. So we'll see you next week, 12 o'clock. Thanks for watching.
And we'll take questions from the peanut gallery sometimes too.
Yes.